is loud and filter it through the holy crowd. What would Jesus do today?
Welcome back to Good Morning Church. We are chatting here with Pastor Lyndon Balkeran, leadership strategist, banker for over 2 decades, almost 2 decades, economist, I dare say. And we're looking at, in these times of crisis, looming war on our doorsteps, from a Christian perspective, how can we cope with everything that's happening in society? So we looked at before the economics of things. What does our economy look like in this time? And so Pastor Balkeran shared with us, as believers, we go back to the Word of God and we exercise active faith. But Pastor Balkeran, I want to beg this question because I know there may be folks, sitting at home looking and saying, well, yeah, Pastor Balkeran could talk about Isaac sowing and Joseph, helping them through a pandemic. But as Old Testament, we're talking about today, we're talking about now. What are we to practically do now? And not only as individuals, but as a community of Christians, even in our churches, Pastor Balkeran. Yeah. What can we do to, really navigate the economics of these times?
Yeah. So I know our time is limited, so I'm going to again jump straight in, right? I think when it comes to money, the church needs to reframe our philosophy, right? The 3 things I see most persons come to the altar for prayer for is for health, finances, and some type of family issue. But in most instances, we don't teach about finances, we don't teach about health, we don't teach about parenting and marriage and those things. So in most instances, we are on the reactive side of it. So the first thing that we really need is to reframe how we look at money. And there's a philosophy that you either work for money or you make money work for you. So it starts there in terms of reframing how we look at money. The Bible said the blessings of the Lord, I think it was Proverbs 10:22 or thereabout. I'm not too sure. It says the blessings of the Lord make it rich and adds no sorrow. So it's okay to pursue wealth. It's okay to trust the Lord and invest in spaces and not just say, well, God will provide. He will provide, but he also gives us the ability to get wealth. Yes. Right?
I think that sorry. I think that's a pertinent point that you just made there. Because the knowledge on how to just go to work and the knowledge on how to just live and not go and see about your health, that is all over the place. You just have to keep doing what everybody else does, which is just keep on living. So you're very right. Most congregations, I don't want to say the church in general, most assemblies, most congregations don't really pay that much time talking about health. And not just to talk about it, to set up that structure within the body. You understand? To set up the structure of educating on finances so that the assembly could be independent. There are assemblies that struggle to pay rent for the building, and even rent for the building is weird because you think that the church should really own the own building, but there's some churches that struggle to pay the rent. Some churches struggle where even the pastors having problems in the families that they don't even seem to have a clue or how to deal with. So all these things put together, you would see the anxiety outside, but inside the assembly, you're telling yourself, all right, where the nurses and the doctors are, they would have the tools to deal with it, but right inside there, you will find the anxiety. So I just piggybacking on your point that we really should be spending that amount of time, not disregarding the Word of God, but understanding what the Word of God says concerning family, finances, and health, which really are the kind of the main pillars of what you really have in life. So just piggybacking on your point.
That's good. So that's it. That's the practicals. If you don't have the right mindset, nothing is going to fall into place.
Yeah.
It starts there, and it starts about being faithful with $10. If you can't be faithful and steward $10, you'll never have 10 million.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I heard a guy say this I heard a guy say this years ago. He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. Right? He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. He said the hardest thing to do in Trinidad is to be poor. He said the hardest thing to do in Trin And at first, I wanted to say, what stupidness you're talking about, right? But then I realized it. There's a guy who comes to our office at work and washes cars.
Yeah.
Right? There's a pipe in our basement. He brings a hose, bottle of squeezy, washes our cars, and leaves in a day with $800.
Mm-hmm.
$800 a day by 5 days is $4,000 a week. For a month, that is $16,000 just by washing people's cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a guy selling coffee on the highway in Trinity City with a tank strapped to his back.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. There are ways to earn. But if we keep our heads in the sand, woe is me, I'm poor, my grandparents are poor, my parents are poor, I'll never amount to anything. That's learned helplessness. That's what God has called us to. That's one. And the second thing I would say in terms of the anxiety, even from a neurological perspective, stress is a hormone that's released called cortisol, right? That's the stress hormone, right?
Yes.
But there is a hormone that's released with gratitude. And from a neurological perspective, the chemical that's released for gratitude and the chemical that's released for stress cannot operate at the same time. Right? And that's why the Bible says this thousands of years ago. Don't be anxious, but be thankful. Here a simple philosophy, and this is the last thing I'll say we're going, right?
Yes.
It's something that changed my life forever. The guy said, what if you wake up today with only the things you gave God thanks for yesterday? What if you wake up today with only the things you gave God thanks for yesterday? What would you wake up with? So I choose practically to cultivate a posture of gratitude. You know the song that Cece Weiner sang, all my life you've been faithful. All my life you've been so, so good. Which part? Can we say that in the midst of darkness and difficulty and discouragement? God, you're faithful. God, you're good. That is how we shift the pendulum to a posture of thanksgiving. That's our mind and a posture to operate in alignment with who God has called us to be.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, guys.
Balkeran, we thank you so very much for these nuggets, these pearls, because really it is a difficult time to navigate. It is a difficult time for a lot of persons. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of uncertainty. And so as believers, it's important that we have the right mind. We fix our mind so that we can survive this period of time. And so once again, we want to thank you, Pastor Lyndon Balkeran, here with us, chatting with us on Good Morning Church, giving us some real nuggets from a Christian, from a biblical perspective, how we should view things in this time of crisis as we hear these wars and rumors of wars right here on our doorsteps in Trinidad and Tobago. Once again, Pastor Balkeran, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Jesus do today, that's the only way. Good morning, church, speaking truth. Forget your worries, cast your cares.